Good morning, YouTubers. I'm Angela Logan, and this is Everyday Shenanigans. It is October 23rd, Wednesday. Warm greetings from the high 10. Yes, I'm bringing you back-to-back videos because when I get a spurt of energy, I do several videos just to cut my time and cut my stories and get them out to you so you can bring your own interpretation to the stories that I bring to you. And once again, now I bring you a very somber story out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It is of a toddler, an African American child who went missing and was discovered days later. And the story goes kind of like this. Nalani Johnson, 23, a 23-month-old African American female, was found on Tuesday, September 3rd, yes, a month ago, in her car seat in a wooded area, uh, days after her father claimed she was kidnapped. Okay. The body was found, as I stated, strapped inside of a car seat outside of Pittsburgh. The DA is treating this case as a homicide. They are still investigating, and the coroner has not rendered an official motive of death. So the results are pending at the moment. Now, mind you, it is October 23rd, so this month is almost out, and they have not given any more information to the cause of death of Miss Nalani. And I'll wait and see, and I'll bring you that update as I get that information. But I want you to know that I looked at other articles pertaining to this story, and they all run in the timeline of the 1st of September, each one giving a different account. Not a different account of what happened, but just adding a little of this and a little of that. So what I did was I made sure to check each article and then tie it all in together to bring you the most information I could come up with this story. Sharina Islam Nancy, 25, of Penn Hills, Pennsylvania, was arrested on kidnapping a minor, interference of the whereabouts of a child. She was said to have been in the car with Paul Johnson, 21, and his friend in the car at the time of this alleged kidnapping of Nalani. Okay, the story goes like this. 3 adults were in the car alongside the 2-year-old child. Mr. Johnson is claiming that when an argument ensued inside of this vehicle, she pulled up to an intersection. He gets out of the car, he and his friend. He goes to the back of the SUV to retrieve his child. And the girl pulls off with the child. Okay? Naturally, he calls the police, and a massive hunt is sparked to find this missing child. Okay. He describes to the police that Miss Nancy had Uber and Lyft decals on the car, on her SUV, which was, I think, a Toyota Yaris is what she was driving at the time. And naturally, Miss Nancy has her own version of what took place that Saturday afternoon. Miss Nancy is stating that Paul Johnson, who she has been linked to having a relationship with, yes, new surprise, new twist, wasn't an Uber or Lyft ride. She is linked to have been talking to this gentleman, that this is a new romance, that they have been talking for a couple of months, and that he sent her with the baby to meet a black woman who he showed a picture to. He showed Miss Nancy a picture of a black woman, told her where to meet this black woman. She said she took the baby to meet this black woman, handed the child over, and the lady left in a silver SUV with out-of-state tags. Now, mind you, obviously, she did not give verification of the tag number. And this is her claim to what happened to the child, that she handed the child over to a random woman, a woman that he allegedly knew, met, whatever, sold his child to for $8,000. Now, another article states that the child was sold for $10,000. I don't know which is true. I don't even know if the version is true. But these are the two conflicting versions that are stated in several articles pertaining to this situation. So you do your own, you draw your own conclusion, because like I said, you don't know what's really going on with these people out here in the streets. And when you've got now two people giving a different version of what happened to the child, all bets are off. Now you start to wonder, what did the friend know? Did he know what was going on? Don't know. Haven't heard anything else. Okay, so Miss Nancy is not charged with the murder of Nalani, but she is believed to be the last person involved. That's what it says. Is believed to be involved in Nalani's death. As I stated, Miss Nancy and Paul Johnson were in a relationship, and the police is also stating that they do not believe that Paul and his friend were on an Uber and Lyft ride. Okay, he does claim to have been in her car, but the police is saying, I guess, that they weren't on a Uber Lyft ride. Now, here comes the next twist. Besides the two were knowing each other and dating, the police contacts Uber, and Uber says, we don't know anyone by that name that was driving on that weekend. Now put that on paper. Oh, another twist, and this is the one that's going to really get you. How about Miss Nancy's married? How about Miss Nancy's husband is overseas? How about that? And this is the name of her husband, Mr. Rahan Udan, who is currently overseas, spoke with the authorities, and he states that his wife, who he talked to on that Saturday, did not mention that she had a child in her vehicle. He spoke to her via the camera being on the dashboard, and everything seemed normal in their conversation, and she never mentioned a child. At some point, she did turn the video off, and he continued to talk to her via phone. Now, when asked did he think his wife did this crime, murdered this child, he says, in one hand, I could say she could have done it. But then the other hand, I say, I don't know, because I don't want to draw any conclusions right now because you don't have any evidence against her. Now, I want to make sure I got everything right. This baby was found in a park. I want to get you the name of the park. This is wicked. I'm sorry about that. I want to make sure I got everything right, because there was a name of the park I wanted to make sure I gave you all the information. Somehow I can't find it for some reason. This is very odd. Okay. Okay, well, she was found in a park, strapped in her car seat, and it's very, very odd. This is a very odd story. I'm sorry, because I could have sworn I wrote it down, the name of the park where she was found. Somehow I can't find the name of it. Okay, this is even more spooky. Anyway, I don't know what to think. Naturally, this is another story where you're going to assume what you want to assume, because you can only go by what has been given to you from the media, from the news outlets. And it's up for interpretation. Once again, this is another story of a child being kidnapped, then found murdered. Miss Nalani was found 3 days after she was abducted by this lady, Miss Nancy. Then you find out that she and the father knew each other, were dating, He states that she drove off as he was trying to get out of the car at the intersection. Now, I can say, why in the world would you try to jump out of a car and retrieve your child thereafter? Because you have to use common sense. If she's mad at you, you don't know her state of mind. So I would have waited till we were somewhere with the car turned off, such as she say, hey, well, I'm going to take you here, drop you off, get out my car. Cool. Let you get your kid. But obviously, you were crazy enough to try to retrieve your child at an intersection. Who does that? Why would you try to jump? Why would you get out of the car first After you've been arguing with this woman, you and your friend get out of the car, and then you're trying to go to the back of the vehicle to get the child out the back seat, and she drives off. Now, is this true? I don't know. Did she harm this child? I don't know. Is her version true that she took the child and gave it to a black woman, gave the baby to a black woman, and he sold the child for $10,000? I don't know. But I say this is going to be an interesting story. This will probably be as interesting as the cupcake saga deriving out of Birmingham, Alabama, because here you are dealing with some more ratchet people who had custody and or what is the word I'm looking for? Access to a child. I don't know what's going on in America. I don't know why you people are bothering these children, hurting these children for your own selfish needs and gain. I don't understand why you people are kidnapping babies, hurting babies. What have these children done to you? What did this other person do to you that you got to hurt a child? Are you this sick? And yes, I know there are sick people out here who indulge in sexual deviances with children. I know this. I know this. I know there are people out there that are attracted to children and they kidnap kids or touch kids for their own sexual gratifications. I know that people will kidnap kids for custodial reasons and or suspecting a child is being molested or being abused or not treated well, or they just want their child. They don't have the rights or don't have the custody, whatever. But do it legally. Because let me tell you something. If you are the biological parent, you know that kidnapping the child, that is just going to cause more problems. This situation, which I don't really know what the situation is, because they're saying that these two have been dating recently. They only met a couple months ago. So they were arguing in the car, his version. I still wouldn't have drove off with that baby, if that is true. I would have parked wherever he told me to let him out at, and I'd let him and his friend get out, and he took his child on. That'd been the end of that. But the sick part is this baby was found strapped in her car seat in a wooded area outside of Pittsburgh. And you know it was warm back in September. And the police is suspecting that she died on that Saturday when she was put out there in the woods on Saturday. They're saying that she died on that Saturday. So go figure. But they also were saying that there was no trauma to the body. So maybe she died from the heat. Very sad and very sickening. You understand what I'm saying? We already know being that little, she wouldn't have survived out there. One, she's in a car seat she can't get out of. Then it's probably warm. Then you've got bugs. Then you've got the natural elements, critters and things like that. You know, she could have been taken by, anything, a coyote, anything, eaten up by the animals. So whoever put her out there didn't give a damn. They didn't give a damn about her. And that's the part that bothers me the most, is that no matter who, why would you do that to a child? Because you have no reason to abuse a child. You have no reason to kidnap a child. You surely have no reason to kidnap a child and just throw her out to the woods and leave her there for the elements to devour her, because that's exactly what happened. We already know September was warm in most states. And so you left her out there to fend for herself in a wooded area where animals and creatures and things muck about. And you didn't give a damn. So she naturally died from the elements, not eating, all of that. You're a cruel son of a bitch, and you know that. So I'll bring you all an update on this story. But as I said, I try to bring my own interpretation to these stories that I bring you. And, excuse me. This is a very weird story as well, because once again, we have two people bringing in their version of what transpired on that Saturday evening. I think they said it took place about 5 o'clock, this scenario. So did Paul Johnson ask her to take that child to meet a black lady, and he sold that child to this lady? Or is it true that he had an argument with this girl in the car? He and his friend jumped out at an intersection. She took off with the car, and out of revenge for whatever was said in that car, she killed that baby. But one thing we do know, the child was found. The child was found deceased in a strapped car seat. I mean, that's wicked. And left, to my opinion, to the elements, since they're saying they didn't see any trauma on the child's body. Wow. Oh, and there has been no location of the silver SUV with out-of-state tags that the young lady says the black lady was driving, who she handed the child over to. Naturally, how would there be a car that you could find? She didn't have any tags. She didn't give you a tag number. So what would you be looking for? Who would you be looking for? Another ratchet tale of people who don't have any business dating, people who don't have business being around children, people who don't have any business having access to a child, people who don't have a business being a parent to a child, because you always have to go back to who the child belongs to. Okay? We got to stop this. It could happen to anybody. This could happen to anybody. Many children get kidnapped and their parents just turned away for a second at the Walmart or the... Yes, that does happen. And then a lot of times, people get their children missing on purpose. People are faulty as parents, so they help aid a creep unknowingly to snatch their child. Because you see, if you don't pay attention to your children, you don't watch your children, you don't contend with your children, you don't pick up your children in a timely fashion, you are setting them up for the kill. And that's the bottom line. And some of you don't want to accept that because a lot of you are wayward as well. And that's why you side with these crooked ass folks, because you know you think just like them. You are like them. And I always think about that when I hear these people on social media giving their commentary about, don't say that and you don't know what happened. And, well, I know children just don't get missing. They don't go just walk to the perpetrator. You know? They don't wear a sign, hey, come pick me up, come kidnap me. Some of you have willingly given a stranger access to your child because you refuse to engage and be attentive to your child and their whereabouts and their needs. And that's the spoken word. Not all parents, but some of you. Hell, may even be most. Till the next video, I'll bring you an update on this story as it unfolds out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Condolences and prayers to this child's family. I didn't hear any mention of a mother in these articles, and I find that a bit odd as well. And this man was a very young person to have almost a 2-year-old, and he's 21. So go figure. Making babies awfully young. Now he's minus one less child. Till the next video, America. Thank you all. Thank you so much for watching and sharing and giving me your commentary. I really appreciate it. I want to thank you all so much. I want you to know that I'm grateful and that I am humble, that you are watching me and that you're listening to me spin the web of these deviant stories. Some are happy, some are sad. A lot of them, they're heinous, and they are. But I thank you anyway. And until the next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.